And we welcome you back to the hashtag Brothers of Baseball show right here on the Big Game Christian Sports Network. In case you guys do not see that lovely face to the right of me or to the left of me, depending on where you are, yo, Natalie Turk is back in the building, the hashtag Sissy of Baseball. Natalie, what's going on, Sissy?
Oh, hey, Willie. It's so good to be back. It's been too long.
I agree. And as we were just speaking off air, we were talking about you and me and Mike and the hashtag family of baseball and how we actually need to definitely get back to doing that. And I'm certain at some point that we will. I'm so glad to be back. I've been on sabbatical for the last 3 weeks. So I'm trying to get back into the swing of things myself, no pun intended, as this is a baseball show. Just in case you missed it in the first segment, I kind of just welcome myself back because being gone for that long, a lot of things have happened. Joe Madden got fired. I couldn't believe that. And then, of course, we're going to talk about your Guardians here in just a minute. They have been on fire. The Red Sox have been on fire, and the New York Yankees just continue to just tear the world apart in the American League East. So, with that being said, we're going to get to the Cleveland Guardians here in just a second. We got to go ahead and pay the bills, though. Before we move on in this second segment, it is being brought to you by Amber Knight, like a good neighbor. She is there to provide simple, personalized, and caring service with the insurance and financial services the people of Ardmore, Oklahoma not only need, but they deserve. Contact Amber today, 580-223-0391. That's 580-223-0391. When you want the real deal, call Amber Knight today. Like a good neighbor, she is there. Ardmore, Oklahoma, stand up. She will take care of you. Tell her that your boy from the hashtag Brothers of Baseball show, the Shakeback Media Group, and the BGC Sports Network told you to holler at her so y'all can set it off on all of your financial and insurance needs. All right, Natalie, welcome back. It's been such a long time, and you know, through no fault or through no fault of anybody's. It's just kind of how life has just played the cards for us all here in the last several months, really. So I am very excited to have you back. We're going to talk about the Cleveland Guardians here in just a second. But since we have actually last had a chance to speak, I didn't even get a chance to ask you about the Trevor Bauer situation. Of course, you know Trevor Bauer from his days with the then Indians, now Guardians, and of course now being in Los Angeles with the Dodgers. He has not pitched in the last year and a half, and he did have the suspension. Although the charges they were essentially dropped because there was not enough evidence. I know how you are in terms of advocacy for equal rights for all. So let me have your take on the whole Trevor Bauer situation.
Right. And we only have a half hour and we have to get Guardians in. So I probably will, I'll give you my, you know, cliff notes for this. So, cause I've been all over with it, up and down from the beginning. So first of all, Trevor Bauer, um, he was with Cleveland, like you said, for quite a while. And, we did get to know somewhat of Trevor Bauer, and his mannerisms, his personality on and off the field, and leading up to his explosion when he threw the ball over center field when he, that was his final days with the Cleveland organization. So, um, on the field, I think he's a great pitcher. Off the field, a little odd, I would say a little different, some things. So, what I thought of very first when this all came out, there was a story that he had done in his time with Cleveland at the beginning of his, time here. And what he did was he spoke about relationships with women. And he said that he is very he was single, he stated, does not have a girlfriend, and that he
Mm-hmm.
is very upfront with the
Mm-hmm.
women that he engages with. So he lets them know, you are not the only woman that I am involved with. I have no intentions of being, exclusive with you. And I will, see other women. I will see you. And if you're not okay with that, then we don't move forward. So that was the interview. And at first I was like, well, that is kind of rude. And then I remember my girlfriend saying, well, at least he's upfront with these women and he's not leading them on. They know what they're getting into. So I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, I'm on board with that. So fast forward to when all of, this came out about Trevor Bauer. And I went back and forth with how I felt on it, and we're all just really the court of public opinion because all we really know is, the information that we see on Twitter. I mean, Trevor Bauer posted text messages from the woman. Then we know some things that were brought out, in court too as well that she's claiming. So we had the both sides. So I'm not claiming to know who's right or wrong. I'm giving an opinion. So
Mm-hmm.
my opinion on it as I at the change from the first time. At first I was like, "Oh, well, no. Trevor Bauer what is totally wrong." And I was very an advocate for the victim, alleged victim.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Then I started I'm digging into it more and more and I see just a lot of the communication with her really wanting to, wishing him a happy birthday, trying to pursue a relationship, and all of the texts that he put out, and he put them out publicly on his Instagram story, kind of painted a picture of a woman who wanted more with Trevor Bauer, and he did not.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of where I left my opinion, that I do believe he probably does do that crazy stuff. I mean, let's face it. I mean, I believe he probably did physically engage in that behavior. I believe that probably is something that he does regularly. I think the thing is that I do possibly believe that the woman maybe wanted more from Trevor. Not money wise either. I think it was more of, just really wanting, probably agreed to that, like he said in the interview when he was first in Cleveland, that he's very upfront with the woman. So I think that, she may have wanted more. Now, what I really look at too is okay, so I think baseball, Major League Baseball, did come down very severe and swift with a 2 year. Because basically he did that's 3 years actually, because he didn't play
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
last year. So 3 years of someone's career is a very, very strong and swift statement. And regardless of my feelings for Trevor Bauer as a person, um, I do applaud the major, MLB for doing something on in regards to that. They couldn't just allow, their conduct policy, but I think that him being away from baseball for 3 years in this instance is too long and too severe of a punishment.
Whoa.
Yeah, you
Okay.
didn't think I was going to go that way, did you?
No, I actually didn't, but I do understand your thinking behind it. Simply because what we said in the beginning of the segment, that there was not enough evidence to pursue or to proceed with the trial. And when it first came out, when the news first came out of the amount of time for the discipline, I thought to myself, yo, Major League Baseball, and I even said this on one of those shows, that Major League Baseball is really setting a precedence with this, because they want to really send a message to all of their players, all of their coaches, all of their on the field management, even to the franchise and middle and upper management themselves, even to the league staff, that this is not going to be tolerated. And in the climate that we have been in for the last, I don't know how many years, it's just a shame that we're now experiencing these types of disciplines being handed out when these things have really been going on for the amount of time that they have been. And I think that that is a tribute to people understanding the value that women bring to the table, especially in terms of their baseball knowledge, not just for the fact of being a woman, but when you even break it down even further and talk about the sport, whatever sport that they're in, whether they're an official, a coach, a player, or what have you, we have the value that women bring to the table has never been shown more than it has here been recently. And I applaud Major League Baseball for doing that. I can't remember. Did he actually appeal? He hadn't appealed this yet, has he?
Yeah, he is. I think it's an active appeal right now.
That's okay. That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
And if I want to interject for one moment, Willie, I actually agree with you on that part because I feel very strongly about women in sports, and I am a huge advocate for. So I'm not really contradicting what I'm saying. I'm glad they made a statement because I believe that women should feel comfortable in the workplace, whatever their role is in Major League Baseball. If they're in the press box, if they're a beat reporter, if they're in concessions, if they're a play-by-play announcer, no matter what it is, Major League Baseball, like you said, NFL's like a whole different animal because they have all kinds of, I feel like, things and they handle things differently. But if you stick right with Major League Baseball, and if you do want to say it in that way, I can agree with you that I am glad that they did make a statement. And if it is something that they're going to set a precedent for, stating that that is how women should be treated within the organization and, by players, then they made a strong one.
Mm-hmm. And that's okay to have that stance because it's not like you're saying, well, I'm an advocate for all of these things, and Trevor Bauer was accused of doing this, but I don't think he should have been punished at all. That it would be different, and it would be that would be a contrary statement or a contrary belief if you believe that, which of course we know you don't believe that. You're just simply saying that you're not as high on the amount of time that he was suspended as opposed to not being suspended at all. So I want to make sure that we get
Yes.
that straight out there so that people won't even try to come back and say, well, Natalie said this and she claims, we're not playing that game. Natalie 100% agrees that this punishment should have taken place. She may not necessarily agree with the amount of time, but definitely agrees with the suspension. And also, even the fact that Major League Baseball has made a statement, that is what she is commenting on. So thank you, Natalie, for that. I want to make sure that we don't give no place to the devil and no place to the haters out there that will come back and try to say that. All right, let's go on the field with the Guardians. Like I said, man, in the first segment, I come back. Now, look, when we do the power rankings here at the hashtag Brothers of Baseball show every week whenever we're doing these shows. And the Guardians have been on the fringe of just a bit outside up until I went on sabbatical. And I kept saying to myself, they're going to be all right. They're going to be all right. And a lot of people out there that may be watching and will be ultimately listening to this on the network may not understand that me and Natalie would be those ones that were talking then Indians, now Guardians fans off the ledge. So now there's no need to talk the Indians off the ledge unless you look at the upcoming schedule, but we'll get to that here in just a second. Let's celebrate the wins. Let's talk about how well they have done in the last 4 or 5 weeks and how they have just taken over first place in the American League Central.
Yes, I'm really happy to talk about that. And I actually wrote an article, just finished up yesterday and put it up, that was saying what a difference a year makes. Because I was kind of looking at what does this team have that they were lacking this year? What are we seeing? Like, and I had like 5 points and they did every one of them in the game last night against Minnesota in extras. I think it went to 12 innings and, we came out on top, to be on top of the American League Central, which is a great feeling and a great thing to say. And I know it's still early in the season, but, they have really battled back. So what's funny is, a lot of people were maybe not so keen on them. Now there's a lot of people staying up late, tweeting. They're in the West Coast. They were in the West Coast for a series, and Twitter would just be flooded with people at 12:30 tweeting that they're up, and watching the game, which is something that we wouldn't have, saw last year as much. So there's an energy with this team. The rookies are really coming alive. Stephen Kwan, Oscar Gonzalez, Jose Ramirez chasing the record for RBIs. And what I have clearly made a point of is runs batted in. That means, hey, guys are getting on base. Guys weren't getting on base last year. So Jose now, he's able to do what his job is, and that is to bring runners home. So when he steps to the plate, he has people getting on base and they're playing small ball a lot more. They're being so much more patient at the plate. So they're having great at bats. They're making pitchers really work hard. I think Kershaw, if I'm not mistaken, threw somewhere upwards of maybe it was in the 30s, the first pitch count of the first game of that series. So to do that, that's what I was wanting them to do last year. So they're
Mm-hmm.
getting to these pitchers. They're very aggressive, and they're showing a lot more patience at the plate. So I am so excited to see the young guys have the confidence, and I think that's what they were somewhat maybe lacking last year. So we get to the second year with most of them, and now we're not platooning positions as much. Everybody's pretty much solid, and here and there some movement. But now we're seeing how that consistency is really paying off. And this team has an energy about them and a grit, and they don't quit. Ninth
Mm-hmm.
inning, 2 outs, they can be down by 3, and we've seen them come back. So
Mm-hmm.
that is the difference, and that is why I firmly believe, and I don't think we have to talk anyone off the ledge. We may have if they had lost last night, but here's the thing. I mean, people were saying, well, just wait till they play the Dodgers. Then we're going to see
Mm-hmm.
how good they really are. Okay, we won the series against the Dodgers. Well, wait
Mm-hmm.
till you face Minnesota. Went into extras last night, won the first game in Minnesota. So I hope they keep that energy going. It's like you said, we have let's see. So they'll finish the series with Minnesota, then they're going to come home.
Yeah, let's wait. Let's wait to talk
Okay.
about that in the next segment because I want to. That's going to be a part of the hashtag look ahead, and it's
Okay.
going to be the extended version. We got about a minute and a half left to go in this second segment. So I'm sorry. First of all, can you come back in the third and final segment and talk about it?
Sure. Yes.
Okay. All right. So we'll do that. Let me ask you about the performance of one Tristan McKenzie, who I know you adore and have a lot of respect for. With about a minute left to go in this segment, talk about what he's done so far this year for the Guardians.
So Tristan has really turned it around from last season. And one major thing is he has eliminated or significantly decreased the amount of walks he's allowing. So over his last 40 outings, the prior 20, and then this looking at his past 20, his ERA has went down significantly. He's posted, I believe, I want to say 7 quality starts, a streak of 7 quality starts, which is the most in his career,
Mm-hmm.
a career streak. So Tristan was shaky, last year some things were going on. Now he's solid. He goes out there and can at least give 6 innings, and he has definitely eliminated walks. Giving up those free bases has definitely helped him turn around. And you're right, he's one of my favorites. I just really always root for him. He's such a good young kid, and I like the way plays on and off the field.
Yeah, and he has definitely done that. He has a total of 7 quality starts so far this year. Come on back on the other side of the break. We got to wrap up this segment. Natalie has agreed to come back. Hashtag Brothers of Baseball, BGC Sports Network, Natalie Turk, Willie Epstein Jr. Man, y'all come on back and holler us. We got some more good stuff.